Ramiz, the next question is, how do we reach hypergrowth in Pakistan? What are the prerequisites?
3. People, people, people. Okay. We have so much talent. So what we need to do is let the dog run free. We need to all that potential, and the way for it to get there is to remove all the interference. And there are 2 types of interferences. One is all this external interference, societal norms and people saying you can't do this, you can't do that. But a lot of the interference that I've found is in people's heads here. They set their own limitations. Oh, I can't do this and I can't do that, and this is too hard and this is blah blah blah, and no. And I see a lot of talented people just sitting there disempowering themselves. And that's all we need to do, is help them get inside understand their minds and understand the brakes they're putting on themselves, and help them release those brakes, and they'll go into hypergrowth.
So how is self-development for self-leadership counts for that?
Well, listen, this is new. The history of 5,000 years of oppression has shut the brains down. Okay, has made them very dependent, has made them like victims. Oh, look at me, I can't do anything. Look at me, I can't do anything. And that works for the people who feed off the system. So then you train and condition everybody that you're nobody, you're dependent on me, and work this system, and I'll give you 1% and I'll keep 99%. And that's what the conditioning is, that it's okay to, work a system that benefits the few, that has been created by the few. So right now, this country is set up for the rich. And the disempowered are told, this is your place, your station in society, and this is where you need to be. And they bought into that. We want to get into hypergrowth, you need to change that.
The next question is that how can your knowledge and trainings applied to the masses can reach this growth and applied and used?
Well, I don't think I have any special knowledge or any special training. I think what I do is I facilitate knowledge and I facilitate the growth of people's minds. I don't put anything in people's heads. I just ask them questions that gets them to think about things they haven't thought about. I force them to think for themselves. I get them to look at fresh angles. I get them to challenge their assumptions. I get them to break their old patterns of thought and decision making and explore newer and different patterns of thought and decision making. That's all I do. I really don't have any message other than my E is equal to MCQ equation.
Thank you. So, Ramiz, what does it mean E equals to MCQ?
I say if you want to be a leader, all you have to do is follow the 3 MCs. Manage culture, manage change, manage commitment. How do we do that? In manage culture, it's a very big game. So forget about all the stuff that research tells us about managing culture. Keep it simple. Just try to create a high trust culture. And how do we create a high trust culture? There are 5 leaks in the trust bucket. We just have to plug them. And the resultant product will be a high trust culture. When it comes to managing change, again, there's so much written about it, so much research. I said, throw it all out of the window. All you have to do is create continuous learning opportunities for everybody. So every time they go through something, they experience something, we've got to process it the right way, ask the right questions, so you can extract maximum learning from that experience. And so you stay ahead of the curve. That's how you manage change, to create learning all around you. And how do you manage commitment? You've got to unhook and uncouple people from that jackass theory of motivation called reward and punishment. That's so limiting. It limits what you can do. What we need to do is tap into that spirit of volunteerism that exists in every human being and draw that out of people. And not reduce them down to transactions, that if you do this, I'll reward you with this, and if you don't do this, I'll punish you with this. I think that really diminishes what it means to be human. So if we can just focus on these 3 MCs and land up creating trust, creating continuous learning, and keep focusing on the goodness that resides in human beings will manage the commitment issue, which to me is, they're all important and they're all interlinked. If there's low trust, you'll have commitment issues. If there's low learning, you'll have low trust. People can't manage change, trust will break down. Fear will run in, greed will run in, conflict will replace all that stuff that trust builds and binds together. So that's all I ask people to focus on, these three areas, and drop everything else.
Rameez, the next question regards women. What are the soft skills do you think women need to reach growth and hypergrowth in this country? Anything special for women?
You know, it's not the soft skills they need. They need some. First of all, we misnamed it. Okay, we call engineering and technology hard skills, and we call handling people soft skills. Well, let me tell you, it's the other way around. Handling people is a hard skill, and handling products and technology and machinery is actually the soft, the easy part. This is a misnomer. And ask any engineer who leaves engineering and goes into management what he finds easier, dealing with machinery or dealing with people.
Absolutely.
Okay. So coming to your question about women and what they need to do, I think the last thing they need to do is try to copy men, try to be men to succeed. I think women have a lot of innate abilities which suits them well for this century. I think the time of that very competitive mindset that men by default, their setting is at territorial and competitive and exploitative. Women by default, it's collaborative, nurturing, and communal. And if you look at organizations these days, that's what we really need. Previously, organizations needed a lot of smart men, people with IQ. Then we replaced it with a lot of emotional intelligence and EQ, so women started getting the edge. Now, my prediction is the next Q will be AQ, which is alliance quotient. He who's better at building alliances, because there's so much complexity, you can't do it alone. You will have to build alliances everywhere. Network alliances and everything. And who's better naturally gifted to do that? Not the men I know, certainly not me. I'm too competitive. It'll be women who are good at that. So they have the higher AQ. So when this whole depression, recession, global stuff ends, my prediction is the women who are going to land up on top.
Wonderful. Rameez, the next question is that how can your teachings using technology can be applied for the masses and reach the masses? Because what you are teaching is wonderful.
Yeah, you tell me that, because I'm not a technology person. You guys are the technology experts. Tell me, how can I use technology not to teach but to facilitate growth? I don't see myself as a teacher. Teacher is somebody who puts something in. I draw things out. I don't make people intelligent. I believe people are naturally gifted in intelligence. They just have to find it for themselves and come out with it. And I just push them in that direction.
Maybe there can be some software designs of an interactive ways which can actually get this out of people.
Absolutely. And you just run through a series of dialogues through software, and it takes you to bring about shifts in how you think.
Great. So next product to be developed is maybe looking at world coming next.
Yeah, is an interactive coach.
Thank you. Rameez, the next question is that how do you think, if your teachings are available online and in a video form, again, we know that you are facilitating, that what if that was videos of your programs or teaching, asking questions, for example, how do you think that would help your visibility to the world and help your business to grow?
Yeah. Obviously, even bad publicity is good. My only handicap there is most of my programs, whether it's on strategy or team building or leadership or anything else, are in-house. So I'm hired by clients to come in and work with their teams. That content cannot be made public. So we need to figure out a way to work around that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how comfortable my clients will be to have cameras inside, because we discuss issues that are very confidential within that organization. interpersonal issues and strategic issues and so on and so forth. So obviously that's not going to work. So we're going to have to figure out another way of doing this.
So what if there was generic things drawn out of those coaching sessions which you could record separately and make it available for the public to learn?
Yeah, we can certainly go that route.
Because I'm sure that all the problems comes to generic things down to the bottom line.
It's very common. I mean, sometimes I go into a new client and I say, "Hello, have I been here before?" Deja vu all over again. I've seen this. Why don't they figure this one out? Why is history repeating itself? Because humans are humans everywhere, so they'll have the same patterns.
Yes. Rameez, the next question is that how do you think that if people can ask you questions online would help others and help you? We are all on a growing stage. Yes?
I do that already. On my Facebook, whenever I get on, within 10 minutes I find there are about 12 or 13 wind chats that are popping up, and I'm going with each one of them back to back, and they'll just keep posting questions on what happened that day, and this is how they responded, and how would I have looked at it, or they get stuck doing something and then they want to share it with me and figure out, how do they get out of it. So invariably I'll always have this online chats going on with 15, 20 people, and I just keep doing it till I'm absolutely exhausted. Because this is after a whole day of traveling and training and doing other things and meetings in the end of the day. And I do this last thing before I sleep, but I still manage to do that. But I again feel that it's too little. 12 is not enough. There are thousands of people out there.
How do you think that drawing those questions and basically answering them in a video form and posting it online,
like FAQs and just answer them,
have it available for
That's
others?
Right. I mean, for example, one question that keeps coming up is, how do I ask my boss for a promotion?
Yes.
Or how do I disagree with the performance appraisal that has just been completed? Or how do I ask for a more challenging assignment? Or how do I handle a difficult customer? Or how do I plan to meet my sales targets for next year? Or how do I work with a boss who's very difficult to get along with? How do I deal with politics in the office? How do I deal with backbiting of my colleagues? There are these two colleagues that I need to work with, but we're all competing for the next position. How do we keep our relationship objective and professional? These are things I hear every day. How do I handle my professional jealousies? How do I help others manage their professional jealousies? How do we all agree on certain key priorities for the company for the next 3 years? This is just like I hear it all over every day.
So what if there was videos, then you can just say, please watch.
That's right.
Here.
Absolutely. This is a typical issue, and this is how you deal with it.
I'm sure that a lot of people can just click on it, and you can just actually see it on YouTube, the results, how many people are actually watching it.
Yeah.
Great.
Here's my message. Every human being has the same needs. Our needs are not in conflict. The strategies we are choosing to get our needs met are in conflict. We need to humanize each other. We need to understand each other. We need to get around and see the other person's point of view. Get them to come around and see our point of view. And then figure out ways where we can come up with strategies that will get everybody's needs met simultaneously. That's all it's going to take.
Thank you.